Back in the 50s, it seemed like people did this kind of thing. You know, like you bought a piece of land, you didn't hire a contractor, you built it. You know, built it with the family, and you know, it came together, and it was a place, you know, that would go on from generation to generation. Hey, welcome. I'm Andrew.
Hi, I'm Tammy.
And I'm Samantha. Welcome to our off-grid, water access only lakefront cottage that we built as a family over the past 5 years.
This video is sponsored by Nootopia. Everyone is looking for something that will give them an edge, and nootropics are a way to get that edge. Nootropics are supplements specifically designed to help you focus more intensely, block out distractions, enhance your creativity, and a whole lot more. And the best part is these formulas have a full 1-year guarantee, so there's zero risk for you to try it out. Get 10% off your nootropics today by going to the link in the description and going to nootopia.com/FLORB and use code FLORB10 for 10% off your cognitive enhancing supplements. And remember to subscribe.
Tammy and I have been canoe campers for a long time before the kids came along, and we spent most summers doing long portages in Algonquin and Killarney. So when the kids came along, they did some of those trips with us when they were young. But at some point it became a bit more difficult, so we decided we wanted something more permanent, but we still wanted to keep the feel of off-grid and natural. So we started looking for properties. We looked for probably a year or two, and we decided to buy a blank piece of property and just start from fresh and build our own place. Because this property had never had any proper buildings on it, the restrictions were you had to be 30 meters from the edge of the lake. We planned it to take several years. So first we built kind of the floor platforms one summer, and the next summer we built one half of the cottage, and then the following summer we built the other half and then connected them. So we weren't constrained that way. I would say that the material costs for the cottage were probably between $65,000 and $75,000.
This is the hot tub. So it's a wood-fired hot tub. We just use fallen dead wood for all of our firewood, pump water straight from the lake. It's pretty powerful, so you have to be pretty careful to make sure you don't get soaked. My dad wanted it to look like it was sort of a part of the rock face. So this is the main lookout to our lake. It's the fire pit. It's where we gather in the evening to roast marshmallows and such. And over here is the wood-fired pizza oven. We originally had a version that was just bricks, but it didn't get hot enough, so we came up with this design instead. My dad put an exercise ball and covered it in concrete, and that's how we got the shape. So this is what we call a bunkie, which is just a sleeping cabin. It was built here before we actually moved into the place. The previous owners built it, but it was a lot smaller. So you can see like this section was the bunkie and that section was a porch. So now it's filled in because my papa wanted a bigger space. We all slept in here for the first 2 or 3 years of building. We had a bunk bed with a single as well as a double on the bottom where our parents slept, and me and my brother slept in the single at the top. The wood stove we put in when we moved in. So for the walls we decided to do a whitewash. It's just white paint and water. To show off, this was my papa's cabin. After he passed away, we put in a spot for all his fishing rods. My papa was a really big part of building it all.
I don't know that we would have gotten to spend as much time with him if we hadn't bought the property. So I'm so happy that we bought it because we got to spend every weekend with him. He was here, he was building. You know, the kids got such great memories with him and had so much fun.
There were many adventures, but one of the great things was that the kids were young and they helped build this place. They carried lumber, they hammered nails, you know, they learned about insulation and solar, and you know, they were deeply involved, and I think it really helped form who they are. And it also makes this place theirs. Like they're fully invested, and you know, they have the memories of bringing it all here and putting it all together.
So this is the outhouse. It was here when we got the property. So this here is our solar setup. It's anchored down by these old batteries. You can pivot it to follow the sun, but we don't usually have to. So we just keep it static in one place. It's a 1 kilowatt panel, so they're able to draw in enough electricity to run our entire cottage. This is the main cottage. We have the outdoor shower here. It has instant hot water heater, so it only heats the water as you use it. This drains out into the ground. We only use like biodegradable soap. Because we're here on the good old Canadian Shield, we had to drill directly into bedrock. But you can see here the footing of the building for the foundation. The rebar is drilled directly into the bedrock, and then concrete was poured into the hole. This is our rain barrel. It was originally a maple syrup barrel. The water tank is 500 gallons. So a good half an hour of rain up here will fill up the whole tank. My dad designed it in a way that the roofs slope in towards each other, so we could easily collect enough rainwater for our washing of dishes and showering purposes. We have a 12-volt pump that pumps all of the water from the rain barrel into all the systems in the cottage. It requires cleaning every year, so we empty it in the winter time, and then you have to clean it out before we use it in the spring. We coated it in wood because algae will grow in it if light can get in. So this is an instant hot water heater. It hooked up to the propane tank. It's only vented on the outside, so we can't keep this inside the building. I'd say this one tank lasts about the whole summer. We bring back a new one every winter.
Getting materials here, across the water, up the hill, was definitely one of the biggest obstacles. We initially did hand over hand to try to pull it up.
So eventually my papa said, I want a different system. So he bought this winch that was actually from a logging company. He brought it up here, mounted it into the bedrock, and now it is able to pull up anything that we need to be pulled up. Currently, we don't have a need for such manpower, so we actually just use this hand cranked system over here. It's currently the only thing that runs off the gas generator, which we're trying to move away from and replace. So that's it for the outside. Now we're gonna knock on the door, see who's home. So my dad's here to show you all of the inside.
So welcome to the inside of our cabin. We built the minimum square footage that our county would allow, which is 540 square feet. This is the main area. It's our kind of kitchen, dining room, and living room. Our kitchen is, all the water is supplied by our water tank that's caught from the roof. And then we have a propane-powered stove and propane hot water. The concrete countertop we made in place, and that was quite a project. We hauled up the cement and mixed it with some local stone and poured it and tried to smooth it out. Our fridge, we have two small fridges. We use one when it's just our family here, and we have the second one if we have guests, and they both run off of our solar system. And then this drawer down here holds our batteries and all the components to our solar system. So we have almost 4 kilowatts of lithium power. This battery was salvaged from a Chevy Volt. So this is a quarter of a pack from that car. And it's supplied with our panels outside. And then we have a 1200 watt inverter. And this is enough power to run the two fridges when needed, and our lighting and our water pump. The battery pack from an EV is typically very high voltage. This part of the pack is 48 volts, so that allowed us to use a 48 volt inverter, which is more residential style. And then our solar charge controller feeds through that into the battery. We use raw wood for the walls because it's natural and you don't have off-gassing, and it's just, alternative to drywall and paint like you have at home, So this is one of two lofts. Each end of the cottage has a loft in the roof. And this was an easy way to provide an interesting little place for the kids to hang out. At home you have a square box for your room. Here you have something a little more unique. So this is our living room. It's where the wood stove is, so we spend a lot of time here. This is made by a company in Quebec, and we bought it at Home Depot. Over here we have our glass garage door. Central things I wanted in my design when I first started thinking about this place was having a wall basically that would open from the inside to out. The easiest solution was this glass garage door. When you open it, it opens to our screen porch, and in the summertime, this wall stays open the whole time. The porch was the last part of the building that we built, and all of this timber was reclaimed from a set. It was part of a marine training camp. The stairs are the natural land. This follows that natural contour of the rock. When you come out the other end, you're still at ground level. A famous circle window, which was a request of Tammy, and this was originally a glass table. We have a tiny bathroom with a composting toilet. couldn't be simpler. It's a sawdust toilet, and it works fine here off-grid. And this is where our guests stay, and it's pretty straightforward. When you're here in the summertime, you don't spend a lot of time in the building, and this is just a good spot to sleep. So this is the boys' loft. My son, he stays up here when he's around. So this is the second loft. These were designed so that as the heat from the wood stove warms the building, it naturally convects up here and keeps these lofts nice and warm for sleeping. So this is the master bedroom, which is tiny because the whole place is pretty small. But it has beautiful views to the front and the back, and the sliding glass doors out. And when you're here, this is a great place to chill and read your book, but we spend most of our time outside.
I think it brings us together. We get to play a lot of games at night and just do a lot of things together.
I'm sure it also had influence on my chosen career path. Like if I didn't grow up in the forest, I don't know if I would have loved it nearly as much, but I study environmental biology at U of T, so I think that definitely was influenced by the fact that I grew up here.
Camp out in different places on your property, just with a tent, just to try different areas to see where you really want to build.
Really be careful about where you pick, because it's, it can make a big difference to the quality of light and stuff. If you can afford a small piece of property in the woods, I think, and that's something you would like to do, you should do it. It doesn't have to be fancy. You do make mistakes, but it's okay. And, often you can just pull those nails out and start again. And, if you take your time, you can get where you want to go. And there's still places where I see things that are a little bit wonky, and it's fine. It's totally cool. That's part of doing it yourself, and it's going to stay that way.
Everyone is looking for something that will give them an edge, and nootropics are a way to get that edge. Nootropics are supplements specifically designed to help you focus more intensely, block out distractions, enhance your creativity, and a whole lot more. Bioptimizers has pioneered a number of safe and effective nootropic formulas. You'll be amazed at how quickly they work. You'll feel the effects within 15 to 30 minutes. These nootropics by Bioptimizers are formulated by one of the most advanced brain chemists and nootropic formulators around today. Every nootropics formula is customized to you based on your strength, weaknesses, and goals. And the best part is these formulas have a full 1-year guarantee, so there's zero risk for you to try it out. So here's the deal. If you felt held back, either personally or professionally, then you owe it to yourself to try out Bioptimizer's nootropic formulas. Get 10% off your nootropics today by going to the link in the description and going to nootopia.com/FLORB and use code FLORB10 for 10% off your cognitive enhancing supplements, your nootropics, today, and feel the increase in focus. Thank you for watching. Have a great week.